were so good. That's okay. That's right. So you got a bad hair. Yeah, well, I do. So do I. Oh my God, dude. What are we doing? I'm gonna turn my phone off.
Once again, if you're just coming in, please silence your cell phones. When we start questions and answers, please raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. Identify yourself with your affiliation and to whom you're asking the question. No recording on the cell phones. And if you're joining us on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We'll address questions in the rooms first, and if we have time, we'll take questions from Zoom as time permits. What happened tonight?
Well, it was obviously a really well-played game. We knew going into it that it was going to be a very fundamentally sound game on both sides. Virginia played really good, didn't give us anything. But proud of these guys, the way they hung in there. Brandon was great tonight. Neely was really good for 2 1/3, was really efficient. I think he threw 30 pitches or so, 32 pitches. But, you know, if Sproat and Neely don't do what they've done, it wouldn't have given us a chance there in the ninth. And obviously we had some big at-bats by Wyatt and Ty Evans. I mean, what can you say? This guy's hung in there. He's battled. Probably a little disappointed with the amount of playing time he's had this year, but had a big double and a big home run there in the ninth. And obviously BT had the big home run. So, you know, and then obviously Luke came and come up with a 2-0 count, stayed in the middle of the field and got the winning run in. So special things like this happen this time of the year, and awfully proud of our team the way we battled.
Okay, we'll start questions for the student athletes only, and we'll start right here. Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. Question for BT. I'm wondering if you were kind of thinking in the back of your mind, we did this kind of 2 weeks ago in Hoover. Did you guys kind of summon that kind of energy, or just the fact that you know that you've been able to do these kind of things before?
Yeah, absolutely. But it is kind of in the back of your mind where, you know, you see 6 innings go by and it's a 1-run ball game, and it's not like it's 9-8 or something like that. It's a 1-0 ball game, and the wind's blowing in a little bit, and the ball wasn't really flying and helping us to our advantage. So yeah, it was a little frustrating, but you know, all you can do is just move on, right? I mean, your best players have to play the best in the right moments to win games, and we did that tonight. I mean, we've done it like you said in the past, and it definitely gave us confidence. But what a tough game that was. I mean, Virginia's a fantastic opponent.
Okay, that's right here.
Matt DeMarinis, White and Blue Review. For any player that wants it, how much juice did Ty's at bats give you? I mean, for a guy that maybe didn't necessarily think he was maybe part of the game plan tonight, to come in and have the ABs he did late in the game?
Wyatt, you start.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Ty, he's put in the work all year. And I mean, like Sully said, he's probably a little disappointed with the amount of playing time, but he stuck it out, and he knew his time was going to come. And I mean, that's just how this game goes. We have so many guys on the bench that we know can perform, and he was just the guy that got his number called tonight.
Brandon?
I mean, being a pitcher, kind of a guy looking outside in, you know, kind of noticed Ty. He's always just put his head down and grinded. I mean, even when he's not playing, I mean, he's one of the best teammates in the dugout. And being one of the best teammates in the dugout, I mean, like Wyatt said, like when your number's called, it shows. And I mean, that swing right there just gave us so much momentum. I mean, I wasn't in the lineup at that time, and I mean, I knew we were going to win that game with that homer.
BT?
I mean, yeah, for me, Ty is a fantastic person. Like, he loves every guy in that dugout, 1 through 9, guys off the bench. I mean, he loves our coaches. He loves his program. And he showed it last year as a freshman. I mean, he didn't play until the Mississippi State series and came up with, you know, a backside homer and a couple of hits the next day. It's like he's proven that before that he can do it. To piggyback on them, he's not happy that he didn't play all year, but that doesn't mean he's not excited for his teammates to do well. And whenever he gets in, you know, we're very excited for him too. And like Wyatt said, he was just the guy that got his number called today, and we're super excited for him.
Okay, Matt?
This question is for everybody who wants it. During the bottom of the ninth inning, tying the game up wide, I mean, what were you thinking in your zone? Just locked in and everything else. Then also Caglione got it strung with utilizing the bases loaded and drawed up what happened with the winning run for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, going up to the plate, I was just kind of thinking the same thing I always do. I mean, I was going up there to compete and just get on base and pass the torch for the next man to eventually lead us to winning the game. I mean, like Sprode said, after Ty's home run and even before that, we all knew we were going to win that game. So it was just a matter of doing my part.
Okay. Let's go up here. Dana.
Jacob Rudner from 24/7 Sports for BT or for Wyatt. Just what is it that keys these comebacks in the ninth inning? It's not even close to the first time that this has happened. What kind of enables this?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to describe, really. I mean, that's just kind of the makeup of our team. I mean, we've proved it many times throughout the year that we're able to come back in these games, and we're never out of a baseball game.
Yeah, we have a lot of good hitters that line up together in a group down the line 1 through 9, and it's like whenever another team has a lead and say we're a home team and whatnot, we have the last chance to go at it. Like the pressure isn't on us. I mean, as much as we're not really out of a game, but like the pressure isn't on us. We know what we can do. We've shown it multiple times. I'm very confident in that guy, and I know he's almost salivating at the mouth to get it up to the plate to be able to win a game for us. So yeah, I'm super excited for him.
Okay, way in the back here.
Jake Rongholt, WCJB. BT, we've been talking about this, but, I mean, what word comes to mind to describe this winning mentality you guys continuously bring? You talked about it on Thursday, that you guys have molded this mindset of winning. What's been going on with this?
Yeah, it's just embedded in us. I mean, it's been drilled into us or preached to us since the first day we got on campus with the group of guys that we have this year, that we're always bringing the attack to our opponent. We don't let the opponent dictate the pace of the game or the way we play or whatnot. Like, we dictate that. And obviously when we lose, we don't do those things. But when we feel like we have the most confidence in ourselves and the most success on the field is when we play the game that way. And, yeah, we just have a bunch of really aggressive guys on our team. And yeah, I think it shows.
Kevin, we'll go up here with Kevin.
Yeah, for any of the hitters, I'm curious what maybe you guys were seeing from Barry in the 8th and the 9th inning. Was there a lot of kind of communication in the dugout in terms of like what pitches to look for in terms of that rally?
Wyatt, you start.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I feel like we do really well as a ball club. We communicate with each other whenever it comes to talking about what a pitcher has and how he looks and what he's throwing. So, I mean, we've done a good job all year, and it's kind of showed, and that's kind of the reason we're here. Just we've been productive whenever it matters.
I mean, yeah, the scouting reports are awesome. Everything's available to our coaches and whatnot, but Chuck and Taylor and Sully and all of our coaches put together fantastic scouting reports for us, so we practically know the pitcher before he even steps on the mound, even if we haven't faced him all year long or watched him. They definitely do their due diligence and watch those guys beforehand. They're in there late at night doing that for us. And it's just, up to us whether we, apply that knowledge in the box and use it to our advantage, and I think we did.
Okay, we'll go right here.
Matty Marinas, White and Blue Review. This is for Brandon. Over 60% of your swings and misses came later in the outing. Did you make any alterations to your sequence as you saw those hitters more and more?
Yeah, I mean, the first couple innings, I mean, we knew they were coming out trying to ambush the fastball. So we went out there just kind of see like how they would approach to it, and that was their game plan. I would say probably like the third inning on, really relied on the off speed early, kind of mix and match hitters with the first pitch, whether it be first pitch fastball or first pitch changeup. But really, I mean, what was working for me is, like I said, the off speed early and often, and then kind of the put out pitch with a changeup.
Jake, this should be the last question for the players.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. BT, 7 of your last 9 hits have been home runs. What are you kind of seeing at the plate right now?
I did not know that. Yeah, I'm just getting pitches over the plate, and I guess I'm not missing them. That's an unbelievable. I don't know how I'm doing that, honestly, but yeah, just kind of clicking for me. I think all the times in my life where I've had the opportunity to do things that I'm doing right now and I didn't do them has just prepared me for what I'm doing now. And sticking to the approach and believing in our coaches and myself and my players around me, like that gives me all the confidence in the world. So it's definitely a credit to everybody around me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We'll see
Appreciate
you
it.
Sunday night.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah. So you'll be the visiting team on Sunday. Okay, we'll open up for questions to Sully, and we'll start here with Kendall.
Solely after Wyatt had Kendall Rogers do in baseball. Solely after Wyatt had kind of a quiet super regional, you guys were still able to win that thing. But when he goes up there in that situation tonight, are you kind of thinking in the back of your head like this is kind of the moment that like he's going to kind of break out of this little mini slump that he's in?
Yeah, it's interesting because the first 6-7 innings, the wind was blowing in, and I thought we had some good at bats. So really didn't have much to show for it. And all of a sudden, you look up in the 8th, and the flag is not moving at all, and it's like. It's crazy how that happens, but it happens out here a lot. But, he gets pitched tough, and, sometimes, the game doesn't go the way you want it to go. But obviously, you guys know how I feel about him. He's one of the best players we've ever had, and he's got a knack for rising to the occasion with a couple other guys too. So, no, he's. I think the home run by Ty, I think that really gave the dugout a lot of momentum, and we were down to 1 out with still down a run, but we knew we had Wyatt and Cags and the rest of the guys coming up behind them. But you don't think as a coach in that situation he's going to run into a ball. You just hope he has a good at bat and hopefully there's a good result. But obviously, the result was huge for us at that time.
Okay, Jake.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Coach, you went to your closer down 4-1. What was kind of the reasoning for that?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. We brought in Cade, who's been pitching really good for us. Left on left, got the ground ball for second out. The splits for the leadoff hitter, he's actually got better splits against right-handers than left-handers. But it was a tough decision to make at that point. But the wind was blowing in at that time. Cade's got the knack of getting a lot of ground balls. Felt like the way the wind was blowing, if he threw a quality changeup down the strike zone, that he might get a fly ball because the ball wasn't going anywhere. And credit their hitter, he hit a line drive down left field line. Then he goes left on left and he hangs a breaking ball on an 0-2 count. So you kind of kick yourself a little bit. But at that point, it just wasn't Cade's night. And I felt like if we could keep within 3, that we would have a chance. Now, you kick yourself if you don't bring in Neely to face the leadoff hitter, right? Because the results didn't work out. And then you had a decision making that worked out. I'm sure I'm going to hear it from Brandon tomorrow at practice, but that's fine. Sometimes you make decisions that are right, sometimes they don't work out right. But the most important thing about Brandon's outing was he kept his pitch count down. He was very efficient. So obviously he'll be able to go, on Sunday as well.
Okay, Kevin.
Obviously this isn't your first walk-off win. What makes this a good comeback team in your mind, do you think, in terms of those situations, 8th, 9th inning, being down by a few runs?
Well, we got a chance to hit the ball out of the yard. So one swing of the bat, you can hit a 2-run homer or a 3-run homer and feel like you can get back into it. It's not like we had to string together 3, 4, 5 hits in an inning to score. So, it was really important. And even though we gave up the run in the 9th to fall down 2, like I said, Ty's home run got us within 1. And obviously then, Cade came up and struck out. But then I think it was a changeup that Wyatt got that he hit. And then obviously, you guys saw the rest of the game. But when you have the ability, it's like feast or famine, right, out here. You feel like a 3-run homer can get you back in the game. But if the wind's blowing in, it doesn't work in your favor. So actually, I talked to Chuck about the 6th. We were going to probably go just try to start a manufacture a run, maybe put a hit and run on or a run and hit at some point because the wind was blowing in. So the bottom line is you have to have the ability to score runs in different ways because if the wind's blowing in, it's really hard to get out of here. It's just crazy how the wind just changed, and it doesn't take a whole lot to make the field look really big. I think the wind was blowing in about 7-8 miles an hour, and all of a sudden, like I said, you saw the flags and they weren't moving, and it felt like, okay, if we can get a walk here and we can get back to the top of the order and because every time we could flip the lineup over and we get back to the top, we feel like we got a chance to score that inning. So, that's how it worked out tonight.
Okay, Jake.
Jacob Brender, 24/7 Sports. So the depth of this team, the ability to go to the bench and to get these productive at-bats, I mean, you've got it from Derek and now Ty tonight. Just how important is that, especially in a time of year like this?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have special performances from people you don't expect. It happens all the time in any sport. But, Dale had a good at-bat and played, good defense. Colby, I don't want to forget about him. He drove in the first run of the game and had a good two-strike approach, had a line drive over shortstop's head. And like I said, Ty, yeah, I mean, it's if you're going to have a chance to do something special at the end of the year, things like this happen. Now, we'll enjoy it tonight, but we're playing, obviously, a really good Oral Roberts team on Sunday night. So, but the goal is to try to win the first 2 games, and now we're in position to hopefully do that. But, you're not always going to get the best performances from your best players, so other people got to pick them up. And it just worked out the way it did tonight.
Okay, Matthew.
Matty Marinas, White and Blue Review. 4 strikeouts tonight, and just felt like you guys were stinging a lot of balls. Did you feel, despite the lack of run production for the first 6 innings, that your pitch selection was eventually going to break the dam, I guess?
Yeah, their starter was really good, and I was impressed with. There was a lot of pitches that were really close to the strike zone that we laid off. We did not chase out of the zone, even though we scored 1 run over 6, like you said, or whatever it was. But our hitters did a really good job with a guy that's got really good command. But we didn't chase, and But I said this the other night to the presser. I knew this was going to come down to probably a 1-run game. I mean, that's just the way these things work. Virginia's not going to give you anything, and we were just fortunate enough to have some really good at-bats there in the 9th.
Okay. Ted, this should be our last question.
Teddy Cahill, Baseball America. Sully, 2 1-run games today, 2 ninth-inning comebacks. I know you probably didn't get to see much of the Oral Roberts game, but the last few years, or earlier in this ballpark's history, there weren't too many comebacks like that on this stage. Just how does that change how you have to manage and just like the tenseness of these late-inning situations?
I don't think you manage it. Manage it any differently. I mean, Oral Roberts had a tremendous comeback win against TCU. I watched it in the holding room with the team. But like I said, special things happen to teams at this time of the year to put yourself in this position. And, like I said, I was just told we're the visitors on Sunday, but that's okay. But I think, having that last at bat and having somebody like Neely that's kind of been there and done that, and he's been our closer the entire year, and you need someone like that at the end. And when we were successful, in a couple of those years, especially 17, we had Michael Byrne, who he can handle the moment, and Brandon has proven over and over that he can handle the moment. So yeah, like I said, I'll probably hear about it tomorrow at practice. I'll give him about a minute or two to get on me, and